Hey, what's up, good people? It's a hot location. The peak is live right now, and everybody's playing Mr. Negative, myself included. But I was actually able to go on kind of an insane run. I went from something like rank 75 to rank 95 over the course of about only 4 hours of play, which is a bit insane. I was able to pull in something like over 100 cubes in 4 hours, which is a bit mind-boggling. I think this is the fastest I've ever been able to climb. Obviously, the rank boost of the bonus 5 cubes helps a lot, but it got me thinking about what made my deck successful over a lot of other negative decks that I was seeing. And this is a good opportunity to talk about homebrew decks, as a lot of people are kind of trying to tinker around with what's best during this hot location. And it got me thinking about some of the main things that I think about when I build a deck and how that can help you when you're building some homebrews for hot locations or just decks for climbing. So let's take a look at this deck that I've been climbing with and see if we can analyze it and find what the strengths and weaknesses are and how we can apply that to deck building in general. Okay, so this is the deck I've been using. I won't talk too much about specifically this hot location because I'm guessing you may be watching this sometime in the future and the hot location isn't here anymore, but I do want to break down some of the logic I used in building this deck. So when I build a deck, there's kind of 4 main things that I think about. The first is consistency, and to go along with that is the second, which is multiple win conditions. The third thing I think about are clear win conditions, and that has more to do with snapping. And the last thing is strong win conditions. Some win conditions are stronger than others. Not all are built equal. Okay, so let's talk about consistency. So I don't know about you, when I first build a deck, oftentimes I go into the shop or my library and I'm looking for a strong combo that I think is cool and interesting to play. I'll toss that into a blank deck and start to add in some supporting cards. Trust me, I've tried to make Luke Cage Hazmat work in so many different iterations. But the problem with just one combo and then some supporting cards is that if you don't draw into your main combo, you just end up having to resign because there's no way for you to win. You don't have a secondary win condition. So one of the great ways that you can improve in consistency is to add multiple win conditions to your deck, and the more overlapped they can be, the better. That means that pretty much no matter what you draw, you have some kind of game plan, something to do with your cards that can net you a win. In this deck, we're blending together the negative package, which is very strong, with the Silver Surfer package. And actually, there's some good overlap here. I started out with this deck actually before the hot location, and what I realized is that you can just play this Silver Surfer package and Mr. Negative simply just makes the deck better. You don't even have to play Mr. Negative. You can just play Silver Surfer and you have a pretty solid game plan. But if you do manage to hit Mr. Negative, the whole deck just gets better. With this, it really doesn't matter what you draw. You're probably going to have a solid path to victory, provided your opponent doesn't hit the nuts. A great example in a meta deck would be something like Darkhawk Devil Dinosaur, where between the Darkhawks, Devil Dinosaurs, the well-statted minions that go alongside them, and Mystique, you often have a lot of different ways to win a game. Okay, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about are clear win conditions. And this has more to do with snapping protocol than deck building, but I still want to take a second to talk about it because it's a common mistake I see a lot of people making. So clear win conditions has to do with when you build a deck, you need to be able to identify what cards, what game states are advantageous to you, and snap. I see a lot of people make the mistake of being unwilling to snap or not knowing when they're in a very advantageous scenario. And let's say, for example, you draw your Zabu and you play negative on 3. Then your opponent, jerk as he is, plays his Electro ramp deck and Sandman's on 4. All of a sudden, your game plan is completely ruined. But you're stubborn like me, so you stick it out, and then you try and win with what you got, and you lose, because, that's what happens. You lose 4 to 8 cubes, and that feels really bad. And then the next time you get to that same win condition, you had that bad experience, so you don't snap this time, and you end up missing out on cubes. So here's the thing. When you identify that you're in a strong state, when you've got an advantage over your opponent, a lot of the times the game ends up kind of going evenly, unless they have the specific counter to you, of course. But most of the time, the game will go evenly. So if you have an advantage in the early game, or you know that you're sitting on a big swing, you should snap, because in more times than not, you will end up winning. And there's some complex math, and of course, you know, there's different ways to approach it in different decks, and you have to be able to kind of fine-tune the snapping protocol for your deck. But generally speaking, if you're ahead, you should snap, because obviously if things go wrong later on, you still have the option to retreat, and more often than not, you will end up gaining cubes this way in the long run, even if things don't go your way once, twice, maybe even 3 times. That's just kind of how luck works, and you have to just get into the habit of accepting that and continuing on and soldiering through, and it will work out in the long run, as long as you have correctly identified your strong win conditions. The last thing I'll talk about are how strong your win conditions are. Some win conditions are obviously stronger than others. The first season I hit Infinite, I was actually playing a deck with a negative win rate. I was playing negative Jane Foster, which is a really fun deck in my opinion, because obviously sometimes you miss, but sometimes you hit the nuts. And let me tell you, when you play negative on 4 and Jane on 5 and draw an entire handful of flipped cards, it's just unbeatable, and you can snap confidently. So I was actually able to climb to Infinite playing this negative win rate deck, because when I drew the nuts, I knew that I could bet big, and it was actually kind of under the radar enough that people would stay in for 8 cubes, and I was able to climb because I was able to keep my losses to 1 or 2 cubes at most. And so over the course of time, you end up climbing that way. There's a lot of decks out there like Galactus, which is kind of the opposite, where they have a very high win percentage, but a very low strength win condition, because if you snap, people will leave. And therefore, your cube gain rate is very, very low. I almost never let a Galactus player get more than 1 or 2 cubes off of me. That's just kind of the way it works, and I feel like most Galactus players have kind of accepted that they're in for the long grind. They're not getting to Infinite with a bunch of 8 cube wins. That generally doesn't happen unless your opponent is not experienced or more overconfident. So all that is to say that when you're building a deck, think about how strong your win condition is, and whether or not when you snap, you are confident that you're able to win. Okay, sorry for rambling. I hope hopefully that was somewhat informative and helped you to understand kind of how I process things when I build decks. I'm going to put some games in here for you guys to showcase this deck, because I think it's really cool, and I think it actually is really solid even outside of this peak hot location. But we'll play it for now while it's super fun, and hopefully you guys learn something and enjoy the game. Thanks. Right, let's see. All right, we have Zabu Mr. Negative in hand. This is just this is why playing this deck right now just does not feel fair. We're gonna go ahead and snap. So he's snapping too. I'm guessing he also has negative in hand. So we'll see. We'll see who can pop off harder. There are some really greedy decks out there that have probably a stronger win condition than mine, but we'll see. He did not play negative. He actually didn't play anything. Ooh, super. Very interesting. It's a turn 4 Sarah. Do I want to greed and play that now? I think I'm gonna play Bishop now. Sarah next, because more stacks on Bishop, and the rest of my cards are free, so don't really need the Sarah buff. Wow. Yeah. Good thing I didn't play the Sarah. He's stealing my Zabu. Okay. But he's locked out mid now. other than the bishops. That eternity range kind of hurts actually. But you know what's really funny is that I can literally just get my Zabu back with Super Scroll. I don't think I'm in any huge rush, so let's just play Sarah now. Again, all my cards are free for the most part. He played nothing. Got Silver Surfer. I think it's time to play Scroll, right? Give up that mana, I don't really need it. Here's Angela. And Iron Man. He does not have a flipped Iron Man. His lane will get pretty big though. Ooh, Juggernaut. Interesting. Okay, so we have Juggernaut, Iron Man, which prevents some power left. He's gonna go to 24. I will be able to beat that, I think, especially with Silver Surfer. Iron Man, Mystique, Surfer. I think mid wins also because of the Mystique Surfer buff. I think this should be pretty good, even if he plays like Mystique on the right. My Super Skull gets huge, so... Oh, he also played a Super Skull. Okay, okay. Good for me that I jugged here. Because now I win left and mid. Fantastic. And you can have right, to be honest. I was kind of giving that anyway. Alright. Showcase of Juggernaut being an absolute baller. And there you go, 8 cubes. How you win. Yeah. Elysium is super good. A negative on 2 or 3 here. You could also have negative. Are you gonna snap? Because I'm probably gonna snap. Let's go, man. Let's go. The muscle man himself is back. There's the Super Scroll. Okay. People playing Super Scroll for the mirror matchup. I appreciate it. We hit the Iron Man. That's great. So we give mid. Mid's gonna always be lost. Left is looking pretty weak right now. So left might be fine. Maybe we jug left now. Get some power down, and then maybe he tries to play into it right now. Or it's a couple lines of thought. I could maybe try and want to save space and play right. But let's see. Okay, he's filling up mid. An Adam Warlock and a Darkhawk. He's gonna draw a lot of cards. That's actually a little tough to stop him. Long is good for us. We get the double Surfer and double Ironheart. But right now we can still play everything next turn. So I don't really see a big reason to play anything right now. I don't know what we could even play next turn that would add on top of this. Our own Super Scroll would be pretty clutch right now, especially on top of the Darkhawk. I asked for Dwayne, I got a rock. This guy's name is fantastic. Okay, so he's giving left. Wow, this is a very good hand here. So we're both just fighting for right. So if I need to guarantee that I win right, my best course of action. Well, Mystique left, just in case. And then I think the play is Brood, Wong, Ironheart, Silver. I think he'd have a pretty hard time beating us right. Alright, snapped, okay. Not impossible. He could have his own Iron Man and stuff. I think the smart play for him would be to do Iron Man Mystique on the peak, knowing that he probably needs to hard win that, and knowing that his Super Scroll probably secures mid pretty hard. So it's not impossible for us to lose here, but he did Mr. Negative extremely late. So the most he can have is one negative card. I don't think he has it. Alright, here we go. Let's see what happens. Keep left. He's getting left. Got our Brood. Here goes Wong. I'd really love for some of these Ironheart hits to the right. One. That's 3. Wow, fantastic. That is quite large. Let's see what you got, sir. There's an Ironheart. That's not an Iron Man. There's an Arnim Zola. Yeah, I think we win here. There's just no way. Professor X is not enough. Mystique on Professor X is ridiculous. Alright, that was a free win. I think we played that pretty well. We identified the necessary conditions to win. Man, left actually got much bigger than I thought it would be. JX best. Alright, let's see if we can get one more game. Oh man, we got everything we need, right? This is just it. Like, I'll wait to see locations, but this is probably a snap. Yeah. Snap. Got our flipped Wong. I'm okay with putting Zabu. Actually, do I want a negative left? Because bigger. Maybe. Let's do this. Alright, you guys stick? Stick it out? Alright, he's sticking it out. See what happens. Okay, he's got negative also. Oh, there's a Galactic. Alright, Super Scroll is going to be good here. See if he's got Super Scroll. I'm not going to make the same mistake as last time, and I'm going to wait till last turn. So, he locks me out. He locks me out for 2 cubes. That's fine. I don't need to play anything. There's his Super Scroll. Okay. I have other ways to win. It's kind of okay. The Wong Ironheart Silver Surfer is one way. Oh, what was with the music? It's just like da da da. Man, he could have his own. He could have his own Iron Man's stuff. Let's do this. This is the least committal and still defends against his own Iron Man and stuff, but doesn't give him any bonuses from the Super Scroll. There's the Mystique. And a null. Okay, yep, I get his null bonus. And he doesn't get anything from me. And this Ironheart is pretty good. solid win. There we go. That's what I should have done last time. Let's get one more big win. See if we can get an 8-cuber. Man, I don't have negative though. But yo, maybe it's okay if I fill up Sacred Timeline real quick. I can get another Silver Surfer and stuff. Alright, let's try and fill up Sacred Timeline ASAP. He's got the negative. Mirror Island. I don't get a zero cost Mystique, right? That's the problem. That is the problem. My cards are not zero cost. Long Mystique over here. He might have Rogue. He has Rogue. We can dip. He's negative on 4, on 5, and I would really love to draw Brood. Okay. If we could draw Brood, this would be absolute. Negative left, I think. On 5, we can Ironheart Silver Surfer left, get another Silver Surfer, and do some shenanigans. Okay, he's going hard left. Yep, there he goes. What are you doing over there, buddy? Gambit! Oh. Yo. Well, there goes my entire deck. Or my entire hand, anyway. Is this still winnable? I don't think so. Man, he's just, oh wait, he's full up. He's full up. I just need to be able to beat. I can't beat. I beat it. That sucks. He destroyed my entire board. Literally, he would have destroyed a full board. He triggered that gambit so many times. This could be beatable, actually, but we'll dip. Pretty spicy. I like it, man. I like it a lot. Alright, well there you go, folks. Hope you enjoyed some of those games. Hope you learned something from the explanation I had on how to build your own decks and how to make them a little stronger. Maybe some things to think about while you're building them. And thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.